Hey, this is Tom, and if you think about it, just 6 months ago, Netflix was worth almost $700 per share. Now, fast forward 6 months later, it's sub 200, 197 as of the making of this video. So, is this a good time to buy Netflix for cheap, despite Bill Ackman leaving the investment and saying, hey, I was wrong about Netflix? Here's the truth about Netflix that most of these people on mainstream media don't want you to hear. The fact is, it's very cheap right now, at 200 compared to 700, so it seems like a sweet deal. But I want to warn you, if you're considering Netflix, I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell, but I want to share with you some of the problems Netflix is facing, which I honestly don't see them fixing, despite having a terrific CEO, which is primarily why Netflix was a target for Bill Ackman. I think Ackman bet on the CEO. But I mean, you can only do so much with the stuff that you have. I mean, even if you put Michael Jordan on the worst team in history, he's not going to win a championship. So it is what it is. And not that I'm saying that Netflix is the worst team in history, but all I'm saying, they're a really weak team and a really strong division. Let me explain. If you think about it in terms of sports, if we stay on this analogy, basically you have a lot of players going for the Holy Grail, which is the biggest streamer. And when Netflix started, they were pretty much the only game in town. It was Netflix and Netflix. So everybody else gave them content to make some extra shish kebabs, right? You give it to Netflix, they stream it for you, they pay you royalties, easy money if you're a broadcaster. But slowly but surely, over the past few years, all of these broadcasters, all of these production companies realized, hey, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. Why don't we start our own streaming service and, make all the money ourselves? Why are we taking the breadcrumbs from Netflix, right? So services like Apple TV, Amazon Prime TV, or whatever the fuck it's called, I don't know. Obviously Disney Plus, HBO Max, we can go all day. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. All these services are now part of the landscape and they're all vying for your attention. And obviously these production companies, these broadcasters are not giving Netflix their content. Why should they? They're not going to cannibalize the fact that they actually want to put it on their platform. I mean, so Netflix is in the problem right now. They don't have any supply of content to put on their platform. That means they got to make their own. And if there's one thing that Netflix isn't, it's not a production company. It's a great aggregator. They're really good at finding good content for cheap. But as far as producing their own original content at scale with enough of a capacity to draw and actually get people to stay on their platform, this is a Herculean task for any company. Ask Disney. Definitely for Netflix. They don't have the IP. They don't have the expertise. They don't have the employees. They don't have the locations. They don't have the resources nor the financial backing to get this thing done at scale. So they can make a few movies, but because they're rookie in this, they're going to overpay and the movie is not going to be as good. Now, on the other hand, you have competitors with massive IP, original IP, which they don't have to buy. For example, Disney Plus. They have the entire Star Wars IP. So they can make 57,000 spin-offs. The Mandalorian, the Boba Fett book, whatever it's called, I don't know. The Andorra or whatever it's called. They're making like 15, 16 series off of one franchise, which they don't have to pay royalties to anybody. They have the studios, they have the technology, they have Lucasfilm, ILM. So all the expertise of 40 years of movie making, maybe even more at this point, who knows. So, not to mention the fact that even if it does bad, they have the parks to bring in money to cover any losses that the streaming service creates, because at this point, everybody in streaming is operating at a loss or at least break even just to get people to come in. So, if somebody's going to run a loss leader business based on original productions, I'm betting on Disney Plus to be the first to beat the system at this point, not Netflix. They just don't have the firepower. So even though 200 is way less than 700, at this point, the way the chessboard is lined up, Netflix is about to get checkmated by Disney Plus. It is what it is, but I'm not even sure about Disney Plus. Even if Disney Plus wins this battle, I mean, it's a really problematic business model to begin with. Streaming services at this point has become a complete pandemonium. People are just racing to get subscribers, to get growth, but nobody's looking at the actual business not being viable financially. I mean, you can't keep this up forever, but I mean, I'm not Disney Plus, I'm not the CEO, they can do whatever they want, but Netflix competing with Disney in this, it's going to be a tough sell. Now, I don't think it's the end of Netflix, but it's definitely the end of the Netflix as far as a $700 stock. I mean, they'll be lucky to get anywhere close to where they are right now in 5 years. But again, This is just my opinion. Might be inaccurate, might be wrong, might be the realms of a madman. Talk to a professional advisor. Form your own opinion. Do your own research. Decide. Let me know below if you agree or disagree with me about Netflix. I'd love to hear your opinion. See you in the next video.